video of me using some better quality pasta than I normally use. So I normally just buy the cheap stuff if I'm faffing around in the kitchen. I kind of think if it goes wrong, I haven't wasted, like money as well as my time. Well, as much money as my time. But you watch a few things online and people talk about the quality of pasta, and I kind of thought, well, let's use better quality pasta. So this is, by all accounts, a lot better quality than I am actually buying. So let's cook it and see if we get a better result from our pasta that I'm going to cook. So I've just softened it in a bit of water, which is probably not what you're supposed to do. But as I'm going to form the sauce in the pan, I kind of want to keep as much starch in the from the pasta as possible. If we put, see, you can see that's already kind of quite cloudy. You see, if you put the pasta in a pan of water, you lose the starch from the outside as it's cooking. But then, then what you do with pasta is you add pasta water back to the pasta as it's cooking, so you don't really kind of lose that starch that you use to emulsify the sauce with. But in restaurants, you're dealing with pasta pans, pasta water that's got a lot of starch in it. Whereas if you're doing it at home, you haven't got a pan with pasta water in that's got a lot of starch in it. So I always kind of think just softening the pasta in something like that, just some cold water for an hour or so, just softens it up that it can be put in a pan, and we don't lose that extra starch. So we'll put that away. I don't know what the price comparison is. It's probably like 3 times the price of the cheap pasta. But I have just fried off some homemade bacon. It's not this year's, it's last year's, so it's not this Christmas is gone, it's the Christmas before, so it kind of needs using up, so it's gone particularly dry. It's particularly delicious though. So I've just fried it off, and I was going to cook it in that pan, but the pasta's not kind of soft enough to kind of cook it in that pan. We just need to be careful it's not going to catch on the sides. So I've just had to transfer the fat from there into there, and the pasta, and the fat from the bacon and the starch from the pasta is what's going to form the basis of the sauce. And then we're going to add some we've actually got a different type of cheese. I thought that was cheap cheese that I've got. I haven't. Oh, it's past its best though. 5th of the 12th, it's like a month past its best, but it'll be fine. So, and then we've got some of that, some proper Italian cheese, hard cheese. Well, some proper Italian hard cheese rather than the cheap stuff that I normally buy. I normally just buy the. I've got some. Obviously, if I'm again, as if I'm faffing around in the kitchen and I'm trying something new, I kind of think sometimes it's a bit of a waste to use expensive ingredients. So there's this stuff from Sainsbury's, which is that's fine. It's an Italian hard cheese. It's just not got the stamp of approval of a pecorino type of thing. It's not to say that it won't be made in the same factory. It's not to say that it won't be made by the same people. It's not guaranteed that it's a pecorino. It might just be a poor quality pecorino that hasn't passed the standards that a pecorino would have to pass to be called actually a pecorino. Or it might not have the right levels of milk in it. So it might be made with not particularly good quality milk, or a mixture of some cheeses have to have certain ratios of what am I call it, of someone's ringing me, hang on. Right, I've forgotten what I was saying. That was my mother phoning me about nothing at 9:30 at night. So some cheeses can only be called certain cheeses because of the ratio of cow's milk in there, or goat's milk in there, or ewe's milk in there. So cheeses can be made in a similar style but using a different milk, and you get a very similar product, but it can't be called the designated name. So you can get, see, that's really starchy, is that water, isn't it? I think it's going to make a really good sauce. So You can get cheeses like Stilton, which are very similar, but unless they're made in the right place with the right ingredients, then it can't be called Stilton. So I should pour some water. Some more water than that. But anyway, I'll carry on, and we're back when this pasta's cooking. When this pasta's cooked. Right, so this pasta is almost cooked. As you can see, just with the liquid in the pan, the cooking liquid, you can see how much starch has come out of that. There we go. You can see. So that's no cheese in it. That's just the starch that's come out of the pasta as it's cooked. So I think this pasta is certainly a lot more forgiving. So I've seasoned it. So let's grate in some. I'll use up the rest of this cheap cheese, and then we'll put in the more expensive cheese. Although it probably wasn't, to be honest. It was probably on special offer in the supermarket, and that's probably why I bought it. It was probably cheaper than actual cheap cheese, or it probably had some kind of benefit from buying it, like some extra points or something along those lines, or something. It was probably cheaper because of nectar or something like that. But anyway, so I don't know how much cheese. I'm just going to eyeball it with the cheese. Oh, this feels nice and soft. So I often think when making sauces like this, you want quite a young, hard cheese. So you don't want something that's really mature, that's got those little crystals in it, which are actually bacteria crystals. They're not. I thought they were salt crystals, but they're not. They're actually bacteria crystals that form. Crystallized bacteria. But anyway, so you don't want something that's like that. You want something that's kind of quite young and that's still going to melt relatively easily. But we'll see. I'm saying this, aren't I? And then it might be an utter disaster. But no, that seems like it's doing alright. It's certainly a lot more forgiving, is this pasta. I'll say that much. When it comes to the sauce, it's certainly a lot more forgiving. So what we're going to say about that? Yeah. So certain ingredients are going to make your life easier. So you buy better quality pasta. The quality of your pasta dish is going to be better. There's no two ways about it. Even if you are a mediocre chef, you put a nicer wine in your food, then your food will taste nicer, you know. But I come from a generation of chefs that budget was a lot more important than quality ingredients. So the first head chef that I worked for got a bonus if his GP was particularly very good. Look at that, that's really saucy, is that? So if his GP was particularly very good, he used to get a bonus. So he used to purposely make sure that we utilised absolutely everything that we could. Nothing went in the bin that we couldn't extract flavour or money out of. You know, by the time something got thrown away, there was, you know, it was useless. You know, fit for the compost type of thing. So that's right, doesn't it? So there. So the quality of the pasta does make a difference. That's made a lovely, thick sauce. It just needs a little bit more water to it, just to make it a little bit more malleable. But there we go. That's vastly improved on the cheap pasta that I normally buy. There we go. That is a success. We'll give it a taste. But that's got loads of lovely sauces. There we go. If I wanted to impress people, I will buy expensive pasta in future. But oh yeah, so but if you're a good cook will be able to turn cheaper ingredients and get a good result out of them. That's what my point is. That's delicious. So there we go. buying a better quality pasta is certainly a good idea. Certainly if you're going to make something like a cacio e pepe or a carbonara. But there we go. Success. That's going to be really delicious, is that?